Right now at 5, a high-stakes summit. World leaders at the White House. The future and freedom of Ukraine on the line.
Plus, the push to make back-to-school items cheaper for parents. But there's a catch.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. Developing news out of D.C., Volodymyr Zelensky's Washington redo. A live look at the White House now. The Ukrainian leader and his international backup pressuring the president to help end the war with Russia.
The critical gathering follows Trump's summit with Vladimir Putin on Friday. CBS's Torian Small is at the White House.
And thank you very much.
President Trump met with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House Monday for a high-stakes discussion about ending the war that Russia started 3.5 years ago.
I want to get the war stopped.
President Trump expressed hope that Monday's meeting will lead to talks with all three leaders, something Russian President Vladimir Putin has so far resisted, but Zelensky has been pushing.
This is a good signal about Israel. I think this is very good.
The meeting follows President Trump's summit with Putin in Alaska Friday. Before that meeting, Trump had threatened severe consequences for Russia if there wasn't a ceasefire. But he backed off of that threat after the talks.
We can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting.
Among the main issues, what happens to about 20% of Ukrainian territory Russian troops currently control? President Trump also met Monday with key European leaders who, like Ukraine, want a deal that includes security guarantees so Putin doesn't launch another invasion in a few years. During the Oval Office meeting, President Trump said any peace would have to be long-term and pledged U.S. support.
This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe. But we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
As the diplomacy continues, Russia keeps pounding Ukraine with missile and drone strikes. Ukraine says at least 10 people were killed overnight, including a small child. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
And an area woman with ties to Ukraine is closely watching today's events.
News 8 Now's Grace Monk is in the newsroom tonight with her reaction. Grace.
Valentina Pavsukova is a Ukrainian woman whose Wisconsin-based nonprofit sends aid to Ukraine. Today we spoke to her about the organization and Zelensky's discussion with Trump. Chalice of Mercy has sent over $140 million in medical supplies to Ukraine. Pavsukova lives in Fairchild where the nonprofit is based, but she spent the last 3 years in Ukraine helping distribute and organize the supplies. Pavsukova says she's grateful for the U.S. getting involved. She hopes to see a ceasefire deal reached, but says Ukrainians won't give anything up in return.
Ukraine is not willing to give up territories. We have way too many people living on occupied territories, which is about 3 million people who want to be Ukraine, not Russia.
To continue to launch attacks during Zelensky and Trump's meeting. Reporting in the newsroom, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Grace. And in News 8 Now follow-up, a stolen municipal truck tied to a manhunt that crossed state lines has been found. According to the Vernon County Sheriff, the stolen 2017 Ram from the town of Wheatland was found today in Rochester, Minnesota. Nathan Gossman, who allegedly stole the truck, is still out there. He's also accused of leading police on a chase before reportedly taking the truck. Well, legal trouble for Jackson County Sergeant Stan Eddington. He's charged with second-degree reckless injury. Eddington allegedly shot a 17-year-old during a May 12th traffic stop pursuit in Hickston. The teen suffered a spinal cord injury and was left paralyzed. Body camera footage allegedly shows Eddington firing 22 shots at the vehicle. Right now, Eddington is on unpaid administrative leave. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is also requesting an outside law enforcement agency conduct an internal review of the case.
A candidate for Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District stopping in Eau Claire today. Rebecca Cook spoke with community leaders about the cost of living and health care for veterans. She says bringing down the cost of living for her constituents would be a priority for her campaign.
Able to talk about those lived experiences, I think, really earns the trust of voters. They know that you're going to have the best interest for them, and it's about supporting working class families and not elites in Washington.
Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin joined Cook during this campaign stop. This is Cook's third time running for the 3rd District.
Well, a rainy start to the week with some river flooding. Let's send it over to Greg for the breakdown of that.
Yeah, we still have some showers and thunderstorms going on this afternoon, or excuse me, this evening, but for the most part, it's going to start drying out and become less humid over the next really 24 hours. That's your rainfall, 3 to 5 inches in a lot of areas. We thought this line would be shifting further north. It had shifted further southwest, so centered more across the Mississippi River and less to the north. So overall, we still got a lot of river flooders right now. We have the Trempealeau is in minor flood. We have the upper Iowa, Dorchester area too. We also got some flood watches for the Kickapoo to keep an eye on. Those are the ones right now that we're keeping an eye on, but they should come back down as we go probably later in Tuesday into Wednesday. Big picture goes overall, we do have activity going on. We'll zoom in down there in northeast Iowa. It's generally kind of going through the area and weakening as it pushes south of I-90, but that would be something to keep in mind for Vernon, Crawford, Richland counties, maybe southern La Crosse counties go toward the evening. That's the activity that we're kind of monitoring right now. We'll kind of track that out later. And to give you some news that, yeah, we got a stretch of below average temperatures eventually coming up, including some fall-like conditions too here later in the forecast. So we'll explain all that a bit later.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Well, drivers on Highway 16 could soon see more traffic near the Valley View Mall. The opening of Raising Cane's, Hy-Vee back to school events, and the Do Portugal Cirque shows will bring extra traffic to the area. Traffic for tomorrow's Cane's opening will be directed to the access road. Traffic is expected to be heavy until Sunday. And another traffic alert, George Street will be closed near the Quick Trip and North Salem Road for utility work. It will affect driving and parking lanes. No finish date has been posted for the project.
Back to school is just around the corner, and Democratic Senator Brad Pfaff is pushing a bill to save parents money.
He wants to create a 3-day back-to-school sales tax holiday in Wisconsin. The break would launch the first weekend in August and cover things like clothing and school supplies. Earlier this month, Iowa held its 2-day school tax break. Shoppers were able to buy clothing and footwear for under $100 without paying a state or local sales tax. We will hear from Senator Pfaff tonight at 6.
In La Crosse, a pep rally for the school district staff. News 8 Now's Seth Padilla has more from the Logan High School field house.
Schools and teachers gathered here at Logan High School today for a pep rally, but it was more than just school spirit. The gym was filled today with students, parents, and educators alike. Today was not only about celebrating the success of a public school program, but in recognizing the reason for its success. With multiple schools gathered here, they discussed difficulties teachers and students face that many may not know about. Whether it's long nights grading papers or long nights doing homework, today a point was made to say all of that hard work leads to success.
And because our community supports us, they're willing to do important things like fund buildings for the next century. And so the referendum that passed, it passed with 60% support. That is incredible on a building referendum worth $53.5 million.
They recognized staff members who taught for 25 years, but also highlighted the 80 new staff members as well. School officials say that a proper public education is a crucial part of a successful society.
It becomes the foundation of our democracy, becomes the foundation of our economy. The students coming out of our schools will have professions that our teachers gave them that will allow our businesses to be successful for the next generation.
Behind the chants and cheers, today was about recognizing the hard work and commitment that teachers and students do inside a classroom, but it goes far beyond that. In La Crosse, Seth Padilla, News 8 Now.
La Crosse is expanding its 4K preschool access. The district is adding free all-day options at 6 locations. The program also has free morning and afternoon transportation. Enrollment is now open. For a list of those locations, you can call 608-789-7006 or send an email to preschool@lacrossesd.org.
West Salem staff got a surprise speaker at their Welcome Back in-service today. Motivational speaker, author, and educator Gary Brooks gave remarks at the event. He has over 2 million followers on social media, sharing his passion for teaching and helping other educators improve their skills in the classroom.
Well, having that experience, I know what they're going through, so it's just a blessing to be able to go and encourage them and allow them to step into the school year with some specific tools that will help them as they deal with parents, colleagues, and students.
Brooks has spoken at school districts across the country.
The La Crosse Public Library is breaking ground on new renovations. The project will modernize library spaces by adding new classrooms, meeting rooms, and an upgraded computer lab. The library's internet access will also see improvement.
We have a lot of folks in the area who don't have internet at home. It's very expensive, getting more expensive all the time. And so providing those opportunities here in the space is really important to us.
A $3 million state grant is funding this construction. It's expected to be completed in January.
Coming up, Hurricane Erin still looming over the East Coast, where the storm could strike next.
Plus, an honor for the late President Jimmy Carter.
Developing now, Hurricane Erin is now a Category 4 storm and locking onto the East Coast. CBS News' Christian Benavides has the latest.
Hurricane Erin showed no mercy, lashing Caribbean islands as a monster Category 5 storm before weakening. But the respite was brief, with Erin regaining strength Monday to a Category 4. Forecasters expect Erin to steer clear of the U.S., but warn the storm remains a threat, with dangerous surf and rip currents likely.
These dark colors here are significant wave heights in excess of 20 to 30 feet, even exceeding 50 feet near the center of Erin. So this is going to make for very dangerous marine conditions across all of the western Atlantic and increase the risk for dangerous and life-threatening surf and rip current conditions across almost the entire U.S. East Coast.
Officials in North Carolina aren't taking any chances, ordering evacuations for some islands along the Outer Banks. Residents and tourists race to get out. People are enjoying Miami Beach now, but officials there are preparing too. Ocean rescue teams are telling beachgoers to be on the lookout for red flag warnings, indicating dangerous conditions and that people should stay out of the water.
We want to make sure that we inform the public, everyone's coming to the beach, so we make sure our lifeguards are ready and able, and making sure that they know exactly where the hot spots are, the problem areas.
Rip currents can be dangerously deceiving and sometimes deadly. Last week, 5 swimmers were pulled from the ocean at the Jersey Shore. One of them died.
I heard screams and one woman running over here when I believe the last individual was pulled out.
Coastal flooding is expected to begin Tuesday and continue through Thursday. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami Beach.
Well, the U.S. Postal Service is honoring the late President Jimmy Carter with a new stamp. The Forever stamp comes out on October 1st when Carter would have turned 100. The stamp features an image of Carter from a 1982 Herbert Abrams painting. Carter was known as a prominent activist for peace and human rights around the world.
We will have more news ahead this evening.
But first,
we have drying conditions. That's the good news. We've got some fog to deal with, but even better news is the temperatures and the humidity for the rest of the week and even going to the weekend. We'll explain why coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break. Yeah, we do have rivers to deal with a little bit for the time being. One is the Trempealeau River right now, Arcadia and Dodge. They are in minor flood stage. They're going to come back down here. It was a quick jump up, a quick jump back down. So they're really going to crest here. They've already done it. They'll start falling here very shortly, but that river warning is still out, obviously, until it goes below minor flood stage. The bigger concern probably is Dorchester and the upper Iowa River. They actually got up or getting very close to moderate flood stage. Those could be coming back down too. It's almost up to 19 feet, so they're coming back down also. But those two concerns, we also got to watch for the Kickapoo to keep in mind of here. That could see some conditions here reach minor flood. We'll update you on that. But for the time being, we still have activity going on, but most of it's going to be further south of I-90 through the evening hour as it pushes east. A lot of this activity will kind of diminish, but if you're further north of I-90, you're probably not going to see much in the way of activity through this evening, just cloud cover, some breaks in it. And then going in overnight time frame, once this pushes east, it's going to be low clouds that are going to stick around and potentially for some fog coming into play too. And I think fog could be quite dense in some areas given how moist we are at the surface and light winds, and that'll probably be the main concern going into the morning commute. So overnight temperatures are still going to be kind of up there and the humidity levels will be still quite warm. So mid to upper 60s for the most areas, a little bit cooler further north. Once again, showers and storms mainly just south of I-90, and then the fog comes in late. Then tomorrow, We'll have fog and clouds in the morning and then some partial clearing in the afternoon. Temperatures still getting close to seasonable. Humidity levels start dropping a little bit, and there's a small chance we might see once again some showers going further north. Now overall, this is what we're looking at for visibility potential down there. Quite a bit of widespread issues from 0 to 1 mile per hour, 1 mile visibility up and down along the area. So this could be widespread once again for about 2 to 3 hour period to see visibilities down maybe close to a half. Once we get to about 8, potentially 9, it'll start improving quite quickly. We'll still have the low clouds, but some peaks of the sun also coming out. So once in the afternoon, as I mentioned, we might have a few showers going on, a little brief system to the north, a little disturbance may develop, a little bit with daytime heating. As you see those developing just south of Minneapolis, that could continue through the afternoon, almost into the evening, but coverage of this would be isolated. Most areas will remain dry through Tuesday evening, but still there's that potential there for a shower going on all the way to about 8 to 9. Then going into Wednesday, once again, we could see some morning fog. This will be a common theme throughout most of the week is fog potential, given our temperatures cooler. These temperatures much more comfortable, less humidity, and more sun for Wednesday. Thursday, pretty much just a copy, back at upper 70s, low 80s, humidity's low, plenty of sunshine. And then going into later on the weekend, we're going to look at another surge of actually cooler fall-like air up to Canada. That's going to surge south by the weekend. Look at those colors coming down. That's going to give us some temperatures that are going to feel more like early October level or even late September level. As you see those temperatures towards the weekend, we're 71 on Sunday. Areas to the north may be the mid 60s going Sunday into Monday, and overnight lows definitely are going to be in the 40s for a lot of locations by that point. So it's going to feel a lot more end of September, early October weather, but we just got to get through the next couple days and dealing with a lot of morning fog and some showers here, but a nice stretch of weather coming up for most of the area.
Yeah, fall football weather.
It's definitely
just a little
feel
early.
Like,
Thanks, Greg.
All right, still to come, the first ever Robot Olympics.
Yeah, the battles to determine this year's top bot after the break.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, robots competed in the world's first humanoid robot games this weekend.
500 robots from 16 countries face off in multiple sports like soccer, running, and boxing. The robots also model fashionable hats and clothes alongside human models. Though in one mishap over the weekend, a robot model fell and had to be carried off the stage by 2 human beings.
Okay, semi-human-like then.
Yeah, I saw the soccer footage, and that looked more like playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots, where they're just like bouncing into each other.
Where there probably wasn't a lot of speed or,
or finesse.
skill to that or anything of that.
Don't worry, I think humans still have him beat when it comes to athletic achievement.
Who won? Who won? Because it was probably, you know, all the engineers coming together from those 16 countries. I'd like to see who are the top engineers in this.
I would too, but you know who loses? Humanity.
That is true. That is true. Always keep that in mind.
That's right.
All right, Greg,
They're coming.
Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.